So here is our box. Now we're going to move on to the mini album. Now first of all, we need a piece that measures 11.5 inches by 6 inches. And we're going to score that with the 11.5 inch side at the top. And I'm going to score that at 1.5, 4.5, 5, 9.5 and 10 inches. So once we've scored our left hand side of our cover, we're going to score the right hand side of our cover. So I'm going to place my first score line at 4.25 inches, and this is with the 10-inch side along the top. And then score it at 4.5 inches, and our third line at 8.5 inches. So now we have our two pieces. We have our left hand side and our right hand side. And what I'm going to do, our left hand side starts with the single score line there, and it finishes with the double score line on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left hand piece, my left hand side of my right piece, and I'm simply going to glue that down onto the right edge of my left cover. Now what I like to do is I like to find a straight edge, so whether it be a ruler, grid paper or the edge of a table, and I line up my first piece there, and then I just make sure my second piece lines up as well. And that's going to ensure that I get a nice straight piece. Now that that's done, I can go ahead and use my edge punch to create a decorative edge, and I'm going to do that on either end of my cover. This will get fast forwarded. Awesome. Okay, I'm about to speak again. Okay, so now that I've done my two ends with the decorative border punch, I'm just going to refold and burnish along all my score lines. Like so. We know the right hand side because it has a 1/4 inch gusset on the right hand side, and the left has 2 1/2-inch gussets. So that piece will wrap around to there, and then like so, and there. Now to make our accordion pages that are going to sit in here, I need 2 sheets that measure 11 3/4 inches long by 5 7/8 of an inch. And I'm going to put the first piece in. We're going to call that piece A, and I'm going to score that at 4 1/4 inches and again at 8.5 inches. Now piece B, I'm going to score at 1 3/4 inches, 6 inches, and 10 1/4 inches. Fold and burnish each of your score lines. So taking our piece B, what I'm going to do is start folding it in a back and forth manner. So with piece B, I'm going to fold it in an up and down manner so that it resembles the letter M, and our 1 3/4 inch side sits at the base, and fold that up. And now I'm going to take some fast fuse on my 1 1/4 inch, on my 1.5 inch piece, right on the edge, and attach our smaller side. And you're going to line this up so that piece A rests directly on top of piece B, like so. So laying it out flat, I'll show you what we have. So this is piece B, and this is piece A stuck directly on top of it. Okay, now we're going to take this 1 3/4 inch piece, put your adhesive on, and we're going to glue this directly to our album cover. So when we have our album cover, we have a section here, 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to just center my accordion pages onto that panel. And you're going to have roughly 1/8 inch gap on either side. Okay, now we're ready for our waterfall feature. So to make our waterfall photo mats, I need 4 pieces that measure 4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Now I'm going to place that with the 4 3/4 inches at the top, and I'm going to just score 1/2 inch on each piece. So just fold and burnish each of those pieces, like so. Now if we want, we can go ahead and round or decorate the corners here. So to build our waterfall feature, we're just going to place some glue onto our 1/2 inch piece, and working from the bottom, lay down our first panel and just stick that into place. Then the next piece is going to glue directly over the top of that, and continue until you reach the top piece. So once we have our 2 sets of pages in place, I've got some offcuts. Now these measure 1 inch by 1 3/4, and I'm going to score these halfway at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so it's not halfway, that was my error. However, it doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place adhesive on the largest side, and I'm going to stick that down. So here is our folded side with the decorative edge. Simply place that in with the score line at the base. So again, put some adhesive onto that square and glue it down onto the non-decorative edge with the score line matching up there, and repeat that for this side. Now once those are in place, fold over, pop some adhesive down on both of them, and fold over our decorative edge, and just hold that in place for it to stick. And repeat it for this side. Now I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to decorate with some of the Designer Series paper.